I'm extremely honored to introduce President Peter Solovey. Peter Solovey first came to Yale as a graduate student in 1981 and received his MS, Master of Philosophy, and his PhD here. In 2000, he was chair of the Department of Psychology, quickly moving on to be the Dean of the Graduate School of Art and Sciences, and then the Dean of Yale College, then the Provost, and then just this past July, took office as Yale's 23rd president. And so without further ado, with extreme pleasure, Peter Solovey.
Thank you, Richard. That was very nice of you. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. After 32 years at Yale, get to be an old-timer, and so the Dinosaur Hall feels like a very comfortable place. Figure another 10 years and I'll be on display in the middle here. And I'm delighted to be joined by some of my old colleagues from the Provost's office. They're standing right here behind me, actually. Seriously, this last weekend was as an enjoyable town gown event, I think, as I've ever experienced at Yale. And I know many of you were a part of it. Thank you for being here. I'm still standing, but I think my vocal cords will never be the same. I just want to say two things. You are the United Way campaign leaders. So many of you have worked with us in previous years on the Yale United Way campaign. And it's great to see you back. Some of you are new. And so I don't have to really spend a lot of time convincing you why we do this. But let me just make two observations. We live in a city. And cities in Connecticut in particular, the Northeast, but really all over this country, are seeing greater ranges of income disparity, of housing disparity, of health disparity, of educational disparity than ever before. And this is unfortunate, but it makes the kind of work that we're doing together on this campaign, the need for it, all the more obvious. There are all kinds of things that we need to think about doing structurally to work on those disparities, but there are things we can also do immediately to address them, and that is by raising money and putting it back into our community, particularly affecting the lives of those members of our community who are most vulnerable. Now, many of you do this in many different ways, which is fantastic, and nobody wants to take all of that generosity, all of that altruism away from you. But what I always am interested in emphasizing with the United Way campaign is this is the one opportunity that the Yale community can not just give as individual members. We cannot just give as individual members of that community, but we can come together and give as a community as a whole. And so we're not just helping those less fortunate in New Haven, but we're also doing something to celebrate our shared identity as members of the Yale community. And that gives us two ways to feel good. We can feel good as individuals, but we can feel good as a group, as a social group. I'm a social psychologist, we talk this way, right? But we can reaffirm our identity as members of that social group and reaffirm our own altruistic instincts. So I just want to join Richard and Jack and everyone who is here tonight in thanking you for being leaders, thanking you for helping us organize and galvanize the Yale community, thanking you for being conduits of both persuasion and then gratitude for helping other members of our community realize the opportunity that the United Way campaign presents for them, and then helping them give back through it. So thank you so much for being here. We'll have other opportunities to talk over the course of the campaign, but I know that this is the year we're going to set new records. Thanks very much for being here.
good afternoon. I'm Bob Alpern. I'm the Dean of the Medical School and co-chair of the committee. I got my invitation to this in the email. I wasn't sure I could make it, and then I saw that I was inviting myself, so I thought I should come. I don't know how many times I've co-chaired this committee, but many times. And it's actually, I sincerely believe that this is one of the rewarding things that I do. And I really like to be involved with this campaign. Yale gains incredible amount of things from its community. And it's really, New Haven is such a great place to live now, and Yale benefits from that. A lot of people in the community really support Yale. And Yale, in exchange, gives back to the community as an institution. And that's also important. But what this campaign does is something in addition. It's not Yale doing it, it's the people of Yale doing it. And I've always believed that that is a much bigger statement. It's too easy for Yale to write a check, but it's not easy for each of us to do that. And I think that it's really important that once a year we step forward and say that we as individuals, as part of the Yale community, care about our community and care about the people in the community. The disparities that Peter referred to are heartbreaking, and if you look at who gets into Yale College and who gets into Yale School of Medicine, there's a lot of kids that have no chance. From the day they're born, they never have a chance. And that's awful, and so anything we can do in our local community to make sure that every child that's born has a chance to do whatever they want to do and whatever they're capable of is terrific. And I think that this campaign does that for the community. So let me now turn it over to my co-chair, Kim.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm Kim Goff-Crews. I'm the Secretary and Vice President for Student Life, and I am the other co-chair with Bob. And I am very much a newbie because this is my first time co-chairing and actually working with the United Way of Greater New Haven. So I'm going to speak for the newbies in the room in my presentation. But I am excited to be doing this. Now, last week around this time, I was actually working with a number of you in the room and others to produce the inauguration events that we had. And one of the benefits of doing that is I got to hear Peter give a sense to so many of us in the room about the secret for happiness. I don't know if you remember that conversation that he had with about 3,500 people in the beginning of the week. And he talked about this concept called burging. Does anybody remember that? So it's B-I-R-G, remember? I wrote this down several times, burging, B-I-R-G, which stands for basking in reflected glory, okay? And he talked about things like inauguration or winning a couple of Nobel Prizes or maybe the football team and going 3-1 when it wasn't expected to be doing. Those moments of other people's success, actually, if you're able to celebrate it inside as an individual who's not actually having success, but the community's having success as a whole, it creates camaraderie, community, a feeling of wholeness, a feeling of specialness to be part of that community. And if you can verge often and verge well, as we did last week and as we continue to do in this community, that it is a secret to happiness. Well, one of the things I'd like I haven't checked this with Peter, but I think what we can say is that there's probably another way to be happy and to be supportive. And that is by just giving, simply by giving to other people. Because when you give to other people, you're not only supporting the person who's being given to, but you're also in many ways supporting the community, and you're supporting yourself, and you're creating other avenues of happiness. And so I'm all for verging, which I'm now going to call basking and recurring giving, for our funders here, people who are fundraising, and challenging us to verge and verge often, and to beat the record for the last year by doing that with the United Way. Now, as I said, I'm new, so one of the things I'm always thinking about is why would you give to a particular organization? And I'm always looking, when I'm looking at organizations, from what I call moments of wow. And people have heard me talk about moments of wow. And I'm looking for organizations that do two things. One is there's something about what they're doing that is innovative, that is impactful, that when I'm looking at the programs that they're providing and services, I'm always saying to myself, wow, that's really interesting. Wow, they've really done a great job. But there's also a second element of wow that I'm always looking for, and that is, are the people who are being served by those programs and services really getting what they need? Are they being supported? Are they finding moments of grace? Are they having changes in their lives occur? And I think when I look at the website and when I talk to people who have actually been involved in the programs that are being supported by the United Way, I get moments of wow and abundance. And I think that that's one thing that what is one of the reasons why I'm interested in co-chairing this campaign, but also giving a lot and frequently. So many of you know what these programs have done. I think if I mentioned just a few, the Boost program, where they have a kindergarten canvas, which I find so fascinating, where we had a lot of volunteers go out to meet with the families of the many students who are actually about to begin kindergarten. And during the summer, just before they began, some of them shaking hands, like some of you might have been volunteers. What a wonderful program, what a wonderful way to give a gift of a book that's both in English and Spanish and have students read them to their parents and get excited about that prospect of going to kindergarten. And there are many other programs that we can talk about and you'll learn about and you may even know about. But I think just even reading the website has made me really wonder about why we're not giving more, and I'm hoping that we will give a lot this year. So with that, I want to say I hope that we will verge on, and then we'll have a t-shirt that says verge on for this year. And to invite you, if you're a newbie like me, to really seriously give this organization a look and to support it along with your other fellow Yaleys, so we can have some glory in having a really good showing this year. And to also now introduce our fearless leader, or other fearless leader, which is Jack Healy, who's been with the organization for 30 years and is responsible for a lot of the programs that give us a wow. Jack?
Well, good evening. It's not good to bask in past glory, but you know, because of your past glory, your campaign last year that raised over $1,100,000, there are a whole lot of kids in New Haven that are basking in that glory. The glory takes its shape in a tutor. It takes its shape in a counseling session. It takes its shape in an after-school program. It takes its shape in a caring adult being involved in their lives. And there are a whole lot of families that are economically in deep trouble, that are basking in your glory when they get a rapid rehouse, or there are ex-inmates who are now taking advantage of your glory and working in the community. So be proud of your past glory. Be proud of the amazing citizenship that Yale University demonstrates within this community, and the amazing way that you come together as a community to care. So the United Way has been on a journey for the last 10 years, and we are no longer your father's United Way. We're no longer that organization where you just give money to us and we give it to a bunch of good charities. We are an organization that's focused on making a difference in this community. We're focused on two things: on the disparity that people are experiencing with regard to education, and the disparity that people are experiencing with regard to income. We've gone upstream. We've looked at where we could have the best results. We've brought the best providers together. We've put together the objectives. We've set up the measurement systems, and we are investing your gifts, your incredible generosity in ways that are having return on that investment. We are making a difference in people's lives, and because of you, we are improving the New Haven community. You should all be just so proud of yourselves, and I got to tell you that every day when I wake up, I say, Yale University really makes a difference in this city. And the people that work at Yale University take that mantle and carry it every day. And so from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of my board of directors, I have a number of them here. I saw Andy Boone, Lindy Gold, Gloria Holmes, and the amazing staff that we have who work hand in hand with you every day. Stephanie Bowles, who's our CFO, and Karen Moran, who's one of your own, class of 2010. And I saw Michael Thomas here, who graduated from your law school, and Jennifer Heath. We are so proud to be partners with you, and we deeply appreciate the leadership that you show within this community. You make a difference in people's lives, and we're going to stand for that all the way. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the reception. I guess there are a number of us who will be around to talk. So thank you.